The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported in 1999 that alcohol was a factor in only 7% of vehicle collisions, but accounted for 39% of the fatalities. In 1998, 52% of all fatal crashes on weekends involved alcohol. Alcohol is a drug that affects your judgment or good sense and distorts your perception. Once alcohol enters your body, your actions are no longer coordinated with the environment. In particular, your concept of speed loses touch with reality. Attention span and memory also drop dramatically so that you become unreliable behind the wheel. Blood alcohol concentration is a test that is administered to determine the level of alcohol in a driver's blood and whether he or she is driving under the influence. It is illegal to drive with a BAC of 0.08% or more, 0.04% if driving a commercial vehicle, or 0.01% if under 21 years of age. The charts shown demonstrate that the influence of alcohol decreases over time and also decreases as body size increases. That means if you have a drink and then drive, you are more likely to be under the influence than if you let time elapse before driving. It takes about an hour for the body to process and neutralize one drink. However, this ability diminishes the more one drinks. When a person has had one drink and his or her BAC level is the equivalent of 0.01 to 0.05, he or she may appear normal to the casual observer. This is completely unacceptable for anyone under 21, so don't let them drive if they have had a drink recently. From 0.03 to 0.12, the average person's judgment decreases, as does his or her attention span. From 0.09 to 0.25, the average person will become drowsy and emotionally unstable. He or she will have difficulty remembering, understanding, or judging things, and his or her balance will be poor. With BAC levels in the 0.18 to 0.30 range, the average person will be confused, staggering around disoriented, and perhaps complaining of dizziness, slurring his or her speech, mentally confused, and apathetic. When the level reaches beyond this to 0.25 and 0.40, you'd better call an ambulance because the average person will be in a coma. Levels of 0.45 and up, you'd better call the police. The average person will be dead. Find the chart that includes your weight. Look at the total number of drinks you have had and compare that to the time shown. You can quickly tell if you are at risk of being arrested. If your BAC level is in the blue zone, your chances of having an accident are 5 times higher than if you had no drinks, and 25 times higher if your BAC level falls into the black zone. The answer to validation question number 38 is A. All of these drinks contain the same amount of alcohol. 1 1-ounce shot of whiskey, 1 5-ounce glass of wine, and 1 12-ounce mug of beer. You should know your own limit and how you react to alcohol. If you have a large body and consume 1 small drink, you probably won't have any trouble driving. But other factors, which vary from person to person and day to day, can also affect your response to that drink. How strong and large was the drink? Were you tired, upset, or sick? Were you already taking other drugs or medication? Did you drink on an empty stomach? If so, the alcohol will have an immediate effect. If your stomach was full, the alcohol will take longer to move through the stomach lining and small intestines into the bloodstream. You will feel the effects later, possibly as you climb into your vehicle after waiting for an hour for the alcohol to burn off. Even gender and age can be a factor. Younger drivers, for instance, are affected more rapidly by alcohol. They are also less experienced drivers because they still have to think about what to do on the road, which is hard when under the influence. Taking cold showers, exercising, and drinking coffee are not good ways to sober up. They have zero effect on alcohol in the body. The BAC may state the legal blood alcohol limit, but even one drink can impair judgment. So, rather than putting yourself and others at risk, it's safer to follow a policy of no alcohol at all if you need to drive afterwards. It's also smarter because just one drink and a first DUI offense can cost over $7,000 in fees, penalties, legal fees, and increased auto insurance, not to mention the possible jail time, license suspension, and vehicle impoundment. If you are transporting alcohol, remember that a container of liquor, beer, or wine carried inside the vehicle must be full, sealed, and unopened. Otherwise, it must be put in the trunk or a place where passengers don't sit. Keeping an open container of an alcoholic drink in the glove compartment is specifically against the law. In a bus, taxi, camper, or motorhome, the law does not apply to non-driving passengers. The power of today's vehicles and the speeds they can attain mean you have to be well coordinated and alert at the best of times. Reaction times have to be as brief as possible. Alcohol doubles reaction time. If you are peering through a mental fog, trying to work out where an oncoming vehicle is, you will not react to hazards or even normal traffic as you usually would. You may pull too hard and too late on the steering wheel, or hit the accelerator when you should hit the brake. An unnecessary accident is bound to happen. This sort of perception and coordination difficulty starts to kick in after just one drink. Motorcycle riders involved in fatal crashes in 1997 had higher intoxication rates than any other type of driver, 27.9%.